Right, everybody, welcome back. This is episode 2 of Lockdown with Pete Graves here on the Gala Events website. And today we're talking boxing. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by an absolute legend, former cruiserweight world champion, and also a voice and face you'll all recognize from the media, Mr. Glenn McCrory. Glenn, lovely to see you. First of all, how are you getting on?
I'm getting on okay. As is everybody. It is difficult times, and we're all in the same boat. We're all in this together. It's tough. You've somehow got to try and keep your head up and try and keep thinking of stuff to do. I've got Joyce Carol Oates on boxing, so I've decided I'll go through all my old books. I've got a massive collection of old boxing books, so I'm just trying to mill through them and just get by like everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives you an opportunity to do stuff like that. I can't help noticing the painting over your shoulder, Glenn, as well. It brings back memories of that fantastic night when you won that title.
Well, it's a massive picture. I didn't know what to do with it. It was in the garage for a little while, but it's fabulous. By Mr. Robinson, who did one for Alan Shearer's got one as well. There's a few guys he's done some great pictures for charity for. So I thought, you know what? There's nothing else on my walls of me, so I better I'll put that up in my study.
It looks absolutely fantastic. So you're at home. You keep yourself busy with your reading and stuff like that, and obviously doing some DIY and hanging paintings around the house. But I mean, how much are you missing the boxing?
I'm missing the boxing desperately, to be honest. It's that's been my life for 43 years. Almost my whole life has been submerged in boxing. That's what I do. That's who I am. So it is difficult when that whole lifeline has been taken away from you. So you just submerge yourself in the history of boxing and your heroes and all that sort of stuff, and that's how I'm getting by.
Obviously, you work a lot in the media, covering the boxing, working with a lot of former fighters, and you interviewing current fighters, and obviously you had a glittering career, met all the big names, sparring with Mike Tyson and so on. Who do you get on well with now from the boxing world? Who are your mates? Who are the guys that you would pick up the phone to?
Do you know what? I mean, I've been blessed by being involved with so many in the boxing world, in the States and over here, and so many great friends. I mean, people I'm in touch with on a regular basis. John Rawlings is, the broadcasters. John Rawlings is great. Glenn Evans from the Boxing News, we're constantly in contact with. Johnny Nelson, he keeps in touch. Darren, I mean, lots of we keep it up. Lloyd Hunnigan rings me, every so often, which is great. So you get I've got a real good relationship with so many. My obviously the closest person in boxing is the Northeast boxing writer that you know so well, John Gibson. And I'm missing him. I'm missing him so much because we've been close for 30 years or something. But yes, I'm blessed to have so many good friends in boxing.
Yeah, Gibbo, an absolute legend. We wish him well as well. Talking about the fight, obviously, we've had some great fights in the heavyweight division recently, and there were so many to look forward to as well. But the one that all the fans are looking forward to most, without doubt, is the British super fight, potentially between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Could all of this COVID-19 situation, if you're trying to bring a positive out of something which is so terrible, I guess, I mean, could we see that fight brought forward a little bit, maybe a date for that fight being announced?
I don't know, Pete, but I tell you what, if we came back into boxing, after this terrible time and this long break, if we come back into boxing with a fight like that, wouldn't that just put a smile on everybody's face and just wipe away so many awful memories and such desperate times? So please God, I mean, I know both guys want the fight. Both guys want to get it on and want to see who's the best heavyweight in the world, obviously. So hopefully they can. Hopefully that I think we'll have a different mindset, when we come out of this situation where, things will mean a little bit more. It'll not be so much about commerciality and the money side of it. It'll be about, great memories and putting on great events and that sort of stuff. So wouldn't that be a great way to come back into boxing?
You absolutely would. You're absolutely right. I mean, how do you see it going? I mean, a hard one to call, isn't it?
It is. You know, they're both very, very talented. They're both nice guys. They've both done exceedingly well. Obviously, I'm a bit closer to Tyson. Well, I'm good friends with Tyson, to be honest. And you know, he's done fantastic. I mean, what he did with Deontay Wilder was just a masterclass. So for me, he's number one. He's number one heavyweight, and I think AJ, you know, who's done good regaining the title, but still has to really prove himself, you know, after that loss. So I favor Tyson.
Looking at that painting again behind you, I mean, you've won the world title of the cruiserweight division on that famous night. How did that feel for you when you look back now?
Do you know, it's kind of got a double edge to it, because it was the greatest night of my life, but nothing can ever compare to that, because that was a dream come true. You know, nobody'd ever give me a chance that I would ever win a world title. Nobody had ever won a world title in the Northeast. So to be a massive underdog and to get my dream night in Stanley, you know, in my village, you know, I walked 300 yards up the street from my home to the venue. It was just spectacular. The world, you know, the whole boxing world came out that night and put on a fantastic event that the people of that area will never forget, and I'll never forget. But then after that, what compares to that when you've had such a prolific high? It's very hard to compare anything with that. I mean, luckily, I've been involved in the 30 years since that win. I've been involved in the media and broadcasting non-stop for the last 30 years. So you know, I mean, it's brilliant. I was at, you know, the Tyson Fury fight with Deontay Wilder just a couple of months ago, and that was just an awesome thing. And that's 30 years later, and I've been through the careers of everybody: Holyfield, Chavez, De La Hoya, so, you know, Ricky Hatton, so many men, Joe has so many great names that you've covered their careers of. So it was a great night, but I've had some great nights since.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I guess that's great for you that you're still so involved with the sport that you love and so important. And talking about the big fights, I mean, you work your Gala events as sort of resident pundit, if you like, when it comes to the big fight nights. We've been at some great ones together, haven't we, Glenn? For people that are watching this and maybe haven't come along to one of the big fight nights with Gala, what are they missing?
Well, if you want to do a big fight in a big way, you do a Gala event, because they just put on such a great night. And I'm, you know, like you, I'm very happy to be a part of that and be their resident guest. But, you know, they can expect other great guests. I mean, you know, Tyson Fury was at one. I mean, they've had Johnny Nelson, and they get some great guests in, top line guests. Tony Bellew, you know, the top line guests come in as well. It's a great night. They put on a wonderful event, you know, nice dinner and drink, and it's spectacular. So if anybody wants to do a good fight properly, a big fight properly, that's the way to do it.
Absolutely right. Well, Glenn, I look forward to seeing you at the next Gala event when this is all over. Really appreciate your time. Thanks everyone for watching the latest in the
It's a pleasure, mate. It's a pleasure, Pete. God bless you. Stay safe.